name's Meg, founder and dietitian of Jockey Nutrition. Today kicks off the Jockey Nutrition profile with none other than Lulu Stanford. Now Lulu is an ex-UK apprentice jockey and also junior foreman at Gay Waterhouse Racing. Now the jockey profiles are to help young and upcoming jockeys learn more from the best. So be sure to subscribe below by clicking the button and check out this interview.
I'm Lulu Stanford. I'm an ex-UK apprentice jockey, now a junior foreman at Gay Waterhouse Racing. I'm 5 foot tall. I'm from Newmarket in England.
Thank you, Lulu, for joining us today. So let me ask you, how did you get into racing?
I was very lucky. I grew up in Newmarket in England, which is the base of racing. Both my parents are ex-jockeys and train, and so I had a perfect pathway in.
Beautiful. You learned to ride?
I was pretty much riding before I could walk, I think. I don't remember a day where I didn't ride as a kid. The pony, I think Mum got the pony 2 weeks before my older brother was born, so...
Okay. So how old were you then?
My brother's 18 months older than me, so the pony's been in the family longer than me.
Okay, that's kind of like me. I don't remember when I learned how to ride, and it's quite bizarre, I think, as well. Like you learn how to ride before you walk, kind of thing.
100%. It's like second nature, really.
Yeah.
Once you're, I don't know life without riding, really. So
yeah. Beautiful. And I suppose it wouldn't be right at Jockey Nutrition without asking you, what is your favourite food?
Sushi.
Sushi? I love sushi. Who doesn't love a good sashimi platter? How did you end up in Australia, Lulu?
I ended up in Australia because with things progressing back home riding-wise, race riding, my boss felt it would be a good idea to move as an 18-year-old for a couple of months over to a different country and learn. I was originally out here for 4 months, I think, and now I am 2 years later down the line.
And you were a junior foreman at Gay Waterhouse Racing, yes?
Yeah, so obviously things developed that I actually can't ride anymore medically. So I'm obviously doing something else within the racing industry, which, you know, there's so many jobs in the racing industry that you can fulfill.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all... Life isn't just race riding, but...
Yeah, you were good at it and you enjoyed it, and now you're just moving on to your next chapter, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't take any of it back. I loved the time I spent race riding.
And your most memorable race ride?
Probably Master Carpenter in the Betway Lincoln 2 years ago now. It's the first big heritage handicap of the season in England, which those handicaps are really prestigious.
Okay.
And I was very lucky to ride a beautiful horse in it. So I was really
you finished midfield, but you felt like the buzz was the best part of the race, and you were just really appreciative that you got to ride in it.
100%. The crowd there is enormous. You know, it's one of the biggest crowds in racing of the season, and just the whole buzz of the day. And it's the first day of the season, so everyone's kind of, you know, you've been waiting for this day all winter, and it's kind of the start of summer as well. It's such a big day. It's amazing.
Unreal. Now, in terms of upcoming jockeys and apprentice jockeys, do you have any advice that you would pass on to them in their career?
Probably just surround yourself with the best possible people.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people in racing who have, you know, the mentality of they should have been this or they could have been that, but they didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is to surround yourself with the people who have done themselves justice, and they've worked hard for everything they have. You know, and they're positive people.
Yeah.
You know, they bring something to your life. You know, they help you. Because as an apprentice, you're starting out so young.
Yeah.
You know,
and you're quite impressionable, I suppose.
Yeah. And you know, you're quite vulnerable, really, because you get up so early. You're so heavily involved emotionally and physically in the job that it's so easy to just get persuaded to do the wrong things. So
yeah, and it's because you're naive. It's not necessarily the right thing, and you've got the best intentions. But I can understand that as a young person in any career. Okay,
100%. Have good people to look up to. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I suppose not going out on weekends and getting completely wasted is another thing, I suppose, for their health, because I know a lot of jockeys do that, and probably when they're younger they become of age.
I think as well there's the if you're seen out by trainers as well, it might not have an impact that day, the next day, but in 2 years' time, when you want to ride for this person and they want to put you on a nice horse, and the only impression they've got of you is drunk in a club.
Yeah.
You know, it's not great, and you've kind of got to look at the consequences in the long run.
Yeah.
I think in that respect. Personally, I've never been a big drinker. Weight-wise as well, mentally, you know, the next day you feel horrendous, and if you're riding the next day especially, because there's always racing on Sundays.
Yeah, how can you be at peak performance when you've been drinking and you're dehydrated as well?
100%.
But yeah, I think it's a really good point that you put, you know, it impacts your career, whether it be today or in 2 years' time, because you are essentially your billboard for getting race rides at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the only person that can ruin it is yourself, really.
Yeah.
You know, and even being caught up in the wrong situations out, you know, it might not even be your fault, but you never know what might happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, you know, I'm not saying stay at home and shut the door and don't let anyone in. Have friends, but don't go out getting wasted all the time.
Now, in terms of race riding, what kind of pointers would you give jockeys or upcoming jockeys?
Well, obviously I'm not one of, you know, there's a lot better jockeys than what I was, but one thing I was always taught was to kind of always think ahead, you know, you're obviously riding the horse, but in a furlong's time, how's the race going to be panning out for you, you know, where the gap's going to come, you know, where's the best place to be, who's in front of you. Just always think ahead, kind of plan, don't just expect it to all happen. You've got to kind of use your initiative and no, that's a really good point. I suppose it's like any sport, you know. Yeah.
You can't just let anything just fall into place by coincidence. It's got to be planned.
Yeah. It's so, and you've got such a powerful animal underneath you. You know, you can't just manoeuvre really quickly. People end up getting hurt like that. So you have to kind of pick a run through, and you just have to keep thinking, really. Just be switched on.
Okay, and what coffee do you drink?
Caramel latte.
Caramel latte.
100%.
I'm a soy latte, but I know a lot of jockeys love their coffee, so I'd like to ask you that. Thank you for coming on board at Jockey Nutrition today. You're the first podcast on the jockey profile, so thank you very much. And Lulu's off to the UK now, so we're sadly going to miss her in Australia. But a big wrap for you for coming over, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right now. Okay.
So, stop laughing. So thank you, Lulu, for joining us today. So, stop. She's got the giggles.